Welcome to the great night of presentation of national costume of Mr. International IMVU. I wish you a great night. Today we have the honor of witnessing on television the demonstration of the Mr.'s national costume that represents their stories and their customs and that they wear with admiration. It is a pleasure to be able to transmit and see these wonderful ideas and creations embodied in each piece of the costume, in its colors, its embroidery, and its sources of inspiration. So let's give a round of applause to each Mr. But first, let's give a round of applause to our judges, Miss Alina Rose, Miss Oz, and Mr. Giggs. Let's kick off this amazing event. Let's give a round of applause for Mr. Philippines.
My national costume is inspired by Sarimanok. It is a festival which originated in Mindanao, Philippines. Sarimanok comes from the word sari, which means generally assorted colors, and manok, a Filipino or Tagalog word for chicken. I chose and created my own costume to show my passion and the purpose of Sarimanok festival not only as a sign of art but for its meaning. It honors peace and unity between the cultures of Christians and Muslims. Having to see and get that kind of getting together is a big factor for having a strong and united community and our country Philippines as a whole.
Let's give a round of applause for Mr. Malaysia.
Selamat malam kepada semua para penonton. Nama saya Luis, berumur 23 tahun dan saya sangat bangga untuk mewakili negara saya, Malaysia. Good evening to all of the audience. My name is Luis, 23 years old and I proudly represent my country, Malaysia. My national costume is inspired by the famous Malaysian Twin Tower, which is referred to as the Petronas Twin Towers. It is symbolized as the desire and aspiration of all Malaysians, where tourists also come to visit these iconic structures for pictures and sightseeing. The structure of these buildings was based on a Muslim symbol consisting of two overlapping squares commonly found in Islamic design. It became the heart of the city for both locals and visitors. Moreover, it became the focal point of the skyline of Kuala Lumpur, which also earned its title as tallest building in the world. But unfortunately the title has been usurped by other modern buildings over the years. My costume does not only show the infamous Twin Towers, but also the traditional fishing boat called Perahu Bangau. This design is to highlight the rich Malay cultural history as well as the artistic boat-making craftsmanship that is still found today in the traditional shipyards of Malaysia. These ornamental embellishments were relics of the golden age of the ancient kingdom of Lankasuka. Finally, my staff symbolizes the monarch that shines as the hope of the Malay people. And this is my national costume. Proud and confident, thank you.
Let's give a round of applause for Mr. Thailand.
Saudi Cup. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Saisi Notisuk 21 representing Thailand. This national costume is called the floating market. In the late 1990s, the Thai government introduced the floating markets as a part of cultural tourism programs intended to preserve and to restore the agricultural villages and to revive the ancient ways of living along the canals. The floating market is crowded with over hundreds of vendors and purchasers floating in their small boats, selling and buying agricultural products and local food, which are mostly brought from their own nearby orchards. It is a very attractive place for the tourists to see the old style and traditional way of selling and buying goods in Thailand. This national costume also represents how Thailand's traditional and agricultural sector became widely known, particularly in Southeast Asian region. Let's ride on this boat and let the market float. It's in Thailand.
It is truly fascinating. Everything we have seen tonight. There's a demonstration of a lot of dedication and effort in each mister. Let's give a round of applause for these great finalists. Happy night to all.